The estimated percentage of 30-year-olds who are both married and homeowners from 1950 to 2025. Saw this online, wanted to share it. Definitely a very interesting graph. I've never seen one that shows both marriage and homeownership on the same graph. I mean, obviously we've seen the graphs of, percentage of 30-year-olds who are married, and that's gone down over time, and percentage of 30-year-olds who own a home, and that's gone down over time. But this is interesting to me because I wonder if there's any correlation between homeownership and marriage. Obviously, as you can see on the graph here, in 1950, over 50% of 30-year-olds were both married and owned a home. And in 2025, that under 15% of 30-year-olds are both married and homeowners. Obviously, I'm very concerned about this, especially the homeownership part. That's the first and foremost here. The fact that homes are so unaffordable for someone who's 30 years old, someone who's in their late 20s, that's a major problem. However, again, I want to know if there's any correlation between marriage and homeownership. If we saw these two graphs separately, right, and you saw, percentage of 30-year-olds who owned a home, everyone would say that's a major issue. This is a major problem we need to solve. Young people need to be able to afford homes, and that's absolutely true. That's a major problem. However, if you saw the same graph and said percentage of 30-year-olds who are married, people would just kind of shrug their shoulders, including myself, and say, oh, well, people are just getting married a little bit later in life. That's okay. They're just trying to get their career set up first before they settle down, which that might be true. But when they put these graphs together, I wonder, the weight of one or the other. Does this weigh more to the fact that 30-year-olds can't afford homes, or does this weigh more to the fact that 30-year-olds aren't looking to get married yet? So I'm really curious to know people's thoughts on that. Leave a comment what you think of this graph. Why do you think the graph looks like this? And maybe what are some of the solutions? How do we solve this problem? And also, is the fact that 30-year-olds are not being able to afford homes a bigger problem, or the fact that they're getting married so much later a bigger problem? I mean, for me personally, I think it's the fact that they can't afford homes, but I'm curious to know what people think. Maybe they have a different opinion. So share that in the comments. Thought this was an interesting graph.